Good morning, you guys. Thanks for being on. So I appreciate you guys being on. I know we have our usual suspects here, and then Todd. So that's a good thing. So what I'm going to run through today, guys, in our typical Wednesday fashion, this only take us about 20 minutes. Some of you guys have been on before, so it's kind of the same thing week after week, but there are a couple of minor changes. Amy took the time to put, we've been talking about it for a while, but took the time to actually write it out. And then the actual process from front to back, kind of 1 through 7. We've been talking about them about 80% through, but I've made a couple of tweaks to it and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go through this. You guys have any questions, just let me know. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and bear with me for just a second, you guys. I'm going to share my screen. This is crazy doing this on my phone, but this technology is amazing, really. All right. So let's, first of all, let's start with the website. So you guys know FFL Genesis, obviously. When somebody gets started, after you've gone through the process to get them started, you're going to come out here to our site. Okay, 2 different things. The first thing is after you've gone through the interview process and all that kind of stuff, and you've gotten the person started, this will be where you'll go. Okay, but before then, you can create your own link, your own custom Rogue IMO link. Again, it's on FFL Genesis. You go to Genesis onboarding process, scroll down the page, and you're going to go where it says best business ever, custom Rogue IMO recruiting. So you can either click on the picture or the bar. So I'm going to click on the picture. It's going to take you in here. So I'm actually going to create this real time. So I'm going to go here and say John Doe. And we're going to put in an email address, phone number. I'm going to hit submit. And then what happens is after you hit submit, this is going to actually create a link for you. Okay, so you guys will see it come up in my email here in just a second. Let's give it a second. And then there is the actual link that's created for you. So you can create your own custom link if you haven't already. Down at the bottom, you can see there's a bunch of basically code. If you click on the code, it's going to take you out to your custom link. And then you can see at the top there where it says, what is FFL.com? You can copy and paste that. You can use it for marketing. You can send it to prospects, etc. From that standpoint, you can see that there's the video and then get access. So again, I'm going to walk through this process so you guys can see it if you haven't done this before. Get access, or they can click on the play button just so you know what's going on. And then we're going to pretend that the candidate is, again, his name is John Doe. We're going to say he's from Alabama. We're going to put an email address in there for him, and then we're going to put a phone number. We're going to hit submit. When John hits submit, this is what he gets. At the very top, you can see that I created basically this information. So it'll say brought to you by whatever your name is, and then your email and your phone number that you put in. Now, once they go in and submit this information, I'm going to show you what happens here in a second. But this is the video that was put together by Stephen Yee. And you can literally play this. Once they play this video, it's about a 17, 18-minute long video. After they watch the video, then you can either call them in about 20 minutes or just have them call you after they watch the video. The cool part about this is you can see there's John Doe's information. So that's the information that John Doe put in. So you have the time, you have all of his contact information and the state that he's in. I get about 1 or 2 of these a week, every single week, just based off of our website and my social media that we're putting out there as a team. So I know social media can be a pain in the butt. I get it. It can be very time consuming, but if you're really serious about recruiting and building your team, I'm telling you, you want to make sure you get this link. It's completely free. And you want to make sure you're posting and reposting on social media. And even if you don't feel like you have content to post, just continue to make sure you're sharing and resharing other people's stuff. So let me come out here really quick because I think Gregory is trying to get in. Let me see. Yeah. All right. So let me come back out here to the website. Everybody, does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Anybody? Perfect. Okay. So that is the Genesis website. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So that's the Genesis website where you can go out, create your own link. Okay, now we got somebody else trying to get in. 9 o'clock is such a hard thing, isn't it? Or 8 o'clock. Let me see. You guys are killing me. Try to do this.
I was on there at 9 o'clock.
No, I'm giving you a hard time. I'm serious. I'm just being funny. I'm doing this from my phone, so I'm just trying to make sure I got everything in order here. All right, so let me come back here. Okay, cool. All right, so that is the Genesis website. Now, here's the other portion of that. Once you've done that, you've created your own link. We walked through that whole process. Once you get the person started, you've gone through, you've shaken hands with them, or you've given them an elbow bump, or you virtually said, yes, they're coming on the team. Obviously, we're growing across the country. You're going to come on here and you're going to go to, again, our website. Let me take a step back again. And you're going to go where it says, welcome to the team, Genesis onboarding form. Again, you can click the picture or the actual link down at the bottom. They both work. So I'm going to click the picture. And now it's going to pull up this information. So I'm going to show you guys this very quickly. So we're going to say John Doe. If they don't have a middle name, guys, just put NA. Okay, because when you another form that we're going to show you here in just a second that you guys will have to start doing. We're going to call him John Doe Smith. We're going to say his birthday is August 1st. 1970. Okay, and then his full address, we're going to say 123 Success. I'm just going to put that Successories Way, and we're going to say St. Louis. Forgive the typing, you guys. I'm just trying to show you guys how this deal works, so you guys kind of know what's going on behind the scenes. And we're going to say 63123 phone number, and put a phone number in there. Email address, we're gonna put an email address in there. We're gonna say he's licensed, and let's say his state of license is Missouri. We do not have an NPN number for him yet, but we'll get it. That's important when you start doing HCMS, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. And then the new agent starting comp, we're gonna say we're starting them at 125. Direct upline, you're gonna put your name in, and then you're gonna say upline phone number, upline email address. And you can see if you do this from your phone, everything just kind of pre-clicks. So we're going to say upline's 130, and I'm going to hit submit. And then what happens is this form then comes in. Give us just a second. Come on, form. What happens is a form comes in, this I'm going to show you guys here in a second. Once that form comes in, then what we do is we actually email that form out to you guys so you have it for your records. But more importantly, what it does is it gets them access so that we can actually put them into the system. Now, what you guys are going to have to start doing moving forward is once you get that person in the system, once this updates, there it is. So here's all the information that I just put in. So there's John Doe Smith, there's his date of birth, his address, all that information, compensation. So this is how we can track everything and make sure that everything's in the system. And you have a nice format that you can either then save it or make sure that you have your information. Now, part of the reason why we do this is so we can send birthday cards, we can send anniversary cards, those kind of things. If it's, just all kinds of stuff. So we have that information. Because trying to get it later, guys, is almost impossible. All right. Any questions there?
No.
Perfect.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Gregory.
So once we fill out this form, and I'm going back because I'm trying to figure out where we get stuck at with Fantroy. Once we fill out this form right here to send to them, does that automatically populate everything in HCMS, or do they have
no?
That's where they get the email for them to go in there and do that.
This is just the simple start of us. So myself, and which will be obviously our growing admin team, so that they know that we've got somebody new in the system. Because what's happening right now, there's a breakdown in a couple of different spots. You guys, not even everybody's even doing this. And then Amy will get a message and go, where's John Smith? And she has no idea who the hell John Smith is. Like no clue at all, which doesn't make any sense, but that's what some of us are doing. Or John Smith passed his test 2 weeks ago and nobody notified Amy, me, or anything like that at all. So we can't help anybody that we don't know. That's why the first step is to A, create your own link. B, you could go onto the website and complete the onboarding form, because that really does start a bunch of different things. Okay. Does that portion make sense?
Yep, I'm with you on that part.
Okay. Guys, before we move forward. All right, cool. So here is the site that we've also put together. And this is our recruiting site. You guys can take the time to go through all this information if you want. But the main portion of this, you guys can use this as your own. And here's why I know a lot of people think, oh, I don't want my recruits to get stolen. All of this information comes back to either myself or Amy in an email. So your recruits will not get taken. They won't get stolen. And we created this so that you guys don't have to try to recreate the wheel or make it better. It's very simple. FFL overview, all it is the video. The only difference between this video and the one that you can create and the link that you create for yourself is this will come back to me. No big deal. And I'll show you how that filters out. What we provide, this is simply just the products. I'm not going to go over all this stuff. You guys can take the time to go through. The only difference name-wise between this site and the other one is this is Join FFL Genesis, and then FFL Genesis is obviously the site for the agents. How we do it, there's Grady Polson's video. There's Zach Egan talking about our in-home process. Got a couple of other videos there, Todd and a couple of the other people on with Phoenix. Compensation, there's a comp video that I did. There's Mr. Sean Mike talking about the new bonus structure that we have that just got rolled out. And then we've got we have a BDM that was done by, I believe, Albert Liu. All right. And then podcast, I'm not going to click on that. And then join a team. So here's why you guys don't have to, again, recreate the wheel, right? If you have a candidate, you can simply send them to this website, have them watch the video. And if they're interested after that, guys, all they have to do is come out here. The instructions are right down here. All they have to do is come out and put their first name, or excuse me, first, last name, email address, and in the message box, it's right here. Complete the form, name, email, your phone number for more information. Please mention the person that referred you to FFL Genesis. So when they do that and put that information in and send it, when they click your future starts here, that comes to us via email. And if, let's say it says Christy Polsak, then Christy, we will send that out to you in email, and we'll notify you via Slack that you had somebody actually come out to the site. Does that make sense? And this happens real time. So as this stuff's coming in, it will be going out to you literally within minutes.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Anybody have any questions about that? So we've got the Genesis website. Yes, go ahead. Roger.
Is it necessary to give them your personal link and this one, or one or the other?
You choose. Sorry about that, Mark. Yeah, you choose. It's completely up to you.
Okay.
Yep. This is just a way for you to go out and try to, instead of trying to explain 55 different things to people, we've just tried to put the overview, what products we sell. There's a couple like this. YFFL is a very good video. It's very short. But again, just if you want to create your own site and stuff, that's fine. We're just trying to help eliminate that. If I were you, I'd create my own link. Again, that's on the Genesis site, but it's completely up to you what you decide to do. I know some of us like taking anonymity and taking full ownership of our business and going from there, but we just tried to create something to keep it simple. All right. Yep. Okay. So here's the next thing, and where I think where we're truly dropping the ball, my opinion, is Slack. Most of us are not putting our people on Slack. And if you don't, I'm telling you, people start to feel like they're on an island pretty quick, because as simple as this process is, it seems like it's all over the road. Think about it. We have to put this on every single week just to make sure that you guys are informed and know what's going on, because the only thing that's constant is change, right? If you're not getting your people on Slack right away, they're going to be lost. They're going to get confused. They're going to be asking you when meetings are and everything else. We're just making this harder on ourselves. And again, we're all going to do the big stuff because everybody sees it and everything else. But those little things like not completing the form, not adding your people to Slack and all that kind of stuff, it's going to hurt you and that agent later on. I'm telling you guys straight up. So get them added to Slack as quickly as you possibly can. The other thing is the training. The Saturday training that we had has now been moved to Sunday. Velocity is now putting on the exact same training. I know I'm not going to put her on the spot, but I recommend you guys, I'm going to do it as well. I recommend you guys hopping on that training just so you know what the new agent training is going on. From what I've been told or informed, it was run a little bit different than ours. Dave got on and talked about the integrity partnership for a while, and then Eric went through, some things. Me personally, I think it's important that we just don't go on and sell the integrity partnership to brand new people that they're still trying to figure out what the carriers are and what do I have to do on ATMS and what the hell is Assurance Bay and what do I do if I'm licensed or not licensed? So I think talking to people about the integrity, just my personal opinion, talking to people about the integrity partnership when they haven't sold a policy yet, for most of the people we're bringing on might be putting a cart before the horse. You do what you want, you're growing your business. I think it'd be more helpful for them to understand what HCMS is, what SureBay is, what the difference between the two is, getting started, making sure they're getting through the course and everything else, and getting them involved with Slack so that they see that sales are being made. They see people that are on their team, including velocity, so they can see all that stuff that's going on. Because as Tim Belo says all the time, and I agree with it, the further you get away from the fire, the colder you get, you're going to go find another opportunity. As great as this one is, people will go someplace else to work, even other IMOs. Well, we've seen that as well. So getting them involved with Slack. Here's another kind of pro tip, and I'll challenge you guys with this. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. I know you want to grow your teams. If your people don't get this stuff, first of all, you have to set the proper expectation that they get it done in the next 2 weeks. Guys, that life training, if somebody goes through and signs up and gets it done in the next couple, if you guys can mute your phones, that'd be great.
She's out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just curious.
I don't know if that's Mark or not. If you guys would mute your phones, that'd be awesome.
Sorry.
But here's the deal. With the 2 weeks, I know you guys might disagree with me. I'm telling you straight up. Give people 2 weeks. If they go more than 2 weeks, just have the conversation with them. I know there's special circumstances, but I'm telling you, if somebody goes more than 2 weeks before they take the test, they're not coming. 98% of them will not be here. And the only reason I'm saying that, guys, when I was at FHL, when I was at Combined, it's the same thing everywhere. If they don't commit to that 2 week period of time, just let them go. Just let them go. Seriously, because it's just not going to be in your favor. All right. So anybody have any questions there?
Nope.
All right.
All good.
Another thing is not going anymore from a recruiting standpoint. Don't go any more than probably 48 hours without talking to that candidate. Because if you do, I'm telling you guys, they'll be excited when you talk to them, and then they'll go to sleep and go to sleep a couple times and wake up, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I don't want to have to go through all this study material and everything else, and they're gone. But realistically, somebody can sit down in probably 3 or 4 days, go through the life insurance stuff. If they're doing life and health, I think you're doing them a disservice at this point in time, because it's a lot of content, a lot of information, and I think you'll lose them. So hold on, I think we got some more people trying to log in here real quick. Pause for just a second. All right. Okay. So that's that. Any questions there as we get ready to transition? Don't give them any more than 2 weeks. I'm telling you, have that upfront contract with them. It makes it a lot easier on you at the end if you do that. It really does. Also on our website, we have, and hopefully this doesn't give me an error. We have our YouTube page where you guys can go out and find some content out there. Here we go. YouTube page where you guys can go out and find content out here. If you guys haven't, if you go out and pick just any video and type win on the video in the subject or on the comments, if you will, I'm giving away $50. We're just trying to grow our YouTube presence. I think we're at 41 subscribers, just trying to get over 100. Apparently there's some magic that happens with YouTube, but also getting ready to start running some ads and stuff like that on there here probably in August for recruiting. So if you guys go out there, you guys can also be entered in for that as well. All right, so let me go here. And let's go. Let's see. Okay. So HCMS. When you guys come out here to HCMS, very simply, if you're wanting, when you come out here, you have to add your person to HCMS. Okay. If you guys don't have an admin, obviously Amy's for hire. You can reach out to her via Slack, or we can have a 3-way conversation. She's happy to help you guys out. But this is very simple. This starts the process for this person. You do not need to do this until after this person has passed their test. Amy, is that correct?
Yes, they go into HCMS once they've been licensed.
Correct. So you're going to hit, once you come into HCMS, once the person's licensed, you're going to hit the little plus sign at the top, and you're going to invite the agent. So invite agent request. Then you're going to go out here and you're going to put in their information. Okay. You're going to put their information, first, middle, last name, phone number. If they're licensed, please get their NIPR number. You will need that. Their address. And the reason why you want to get is have to get all this information. You can then log back into the system after they get set up, etc. And then you're able to go out here and see all of their information, make compensation changes, all that stuff. We'll get into that at a later date. And then down at the bottom there where it says membership detail, you're going to put their compensation level. Okay, whatever comp that you're going to be giving them, that's where you put that. Okay, so here's where this gets fun. After that happens, let me do this really quickly. Make sure we don't have anybody else trying to log in here. All right. We're going to stop the share. Okay. So after that happens, let's see. Okay. Trying to go multi-cam or multi-view here. All right, guys, I apologize. I'm trying to make this easier, making it more difficult. Okay, so after that, what you're going to do is you'll go. There we go. So after you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to get them set up on HCMS. Okay. What they're going to do is once you send that information out, that invite to them, that invite goes out to them. They're going to go in and complete their information on HCMS. After they complete their information on HCMS, they'll get an email from them, obviously, and they're going to complete everything. The second email they're going to get is going to thank them for completing all their information on HCMS. The third email will then be sent to them from HCMS with the link to SuranceBay. Now, here's where I want to make sure I'm very clear with everybody. Once that information is sent and they click the link for SuranceBay, the only carriers that they're going to want to submit application for through SuranceBay, Americo, AIG, John Hancock, and Mutual of Omaha. We call them the Big Four. So once you do that with the Big Four, you then also send them Prosperity. Prosperity you have to send on your own. If you're not sure how to do that, get with your leadership person. It's a very simple process of you setting up your codes. Again, Americo, AIG, John Hancock, Mutual of Omaha, and then you'll send Prosperity. Now, I will tell you this. You're going to have people that are going to get paralysis through analysis. They're going to tell you they need all the carriers and everything else. They don't. They don't need all the carriers. And if you have that upfront contract and that conversation with them, you're going to make your life easier and you're going to make their life easier as well. Again, Americo, AIG, John Hancock, Mutual of Omaha, you send them Prosperity. That's 5 carriers. Here's the other thing. When you send them the information for Prosperity, keep in mind, let them know, because we're getting these questions a lot as well. I don't know if Amy is, I know I am. They're going to have to do AML, anti-money laundering, with Prosperity. It's just videos. They watch the videos. When they get done with the videos, they'll get their certificate. That one is good for Prosperity. Okay, there's no quiz, no test with that one. They'll get their agent code, barring there's nothing in their background. They'll have that agent code within 24 to 48 hours. My personal opinion, maybe you want to have your people wait, but if they get Prosperity, there's people that are going out and just writing Prosperity and writing tens of thousands of dollars to get themselves started. The quicker you can get your agents making money, the better off they're going to be, right? All right, I guess I ran Todd off, but that's good, I guess. So from there, the other side with HCMS, they're then going to have to go back into HCMS, but I would wait until they start writing business, okay? They don't need all these carriers. What's in HCMS, just so you guys know, Amy, make sure you can check these off if I'm wrong here. AmAm, Foresters, Aetna, Great Western, Transamerica, CFG, Royal Neighbors, Occidental, which I'm going to come back to here in a second. United Home Life, some of these you guys probably have never even heard of. United Home Life, NLG, F&G, Gerber. Some of these you guys probably didn't even know we had. We don't need all these carriers. We just don't. Amy, did I
Also,
forget
some of those you have to write before you can request.
Royal Neighbors and Gerber, I think. And there might be, I think F&G you might
I
have
think
to do
there's
that
a
as well.
couple more. Yeah, the ones that nobody has, basically.
Correct. And those ones that were taught, those that were, my grammar came out right. So the other ones that we're talking about, like your NLG, your F&G, those kind of things, they're primarily IUL carriers. So if you're selling a lot of IULs, like, Gregory, like Brad, those kind of things, I know Kevin's starting to get into those. Maybe you need those carriers, but I will tell you for the most part, you don't. Those big 4, really big 5, you're going to write the majority of your business with anyway. If you guys start to see our issue report, which we show every Friday, we really, it's Mutual of Omaha, it's AIG, it's Americo, and then, maybe Foresters creeps in there, but we use the big 3 are the ones we use primarily anyway. All right. So here's the deal. Once they start writing business, and I would say probably after their first 10 to 15 cases, then you can start adding some of the other carriers. My personal opinion, because otherwise you're going to confuse them. I'm telling you. And then you're going to have the stuff that's going on between all the carriers. Here's the other thing too. Just so you guys know this, and most of you guys are on here every week. HCMS at some point, hopefully here in the near future, will be taking over or be taking place of SuranceBay. Then we won't have some of all this kind of back and forth that's going on right now. So does that help anybody?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Awesome. Dad, before I
Okay.
transition to the last couple pieces of this, are there any questions?
yes, Corey. So this
Yes,
is
sir.
great. So this is
Yep.
this is where I got the disconnect right here. We did
Okay.
everything up to this point. Signed him up, had him go in there to HCMS. He did that the first part on there. He never got the assurance bay email. That's the disconnect. Now I know you said it. Amy said it. Look in the junk mail. We've looked in the junk mail. We looked in trash. I've even helped him look through there. All of that. We haven't found that. What needs to be done if we can't get that assurance bay? Haven't got that assurance bay email.
Okay, two things. The first thing is if he fully commit, because it's all automated. So if he fully completed, Amy, jump in at any time. If he fully completed HCMS, the first part of HCMS where you completed the information, you invited him. The second portion is after you've invited him, he's going to get the email thanking him. And the third one is that HCMS link. That third email from HCMS is what sends him to Assurance Bay.
Right, and that's when.
So that's what I'm wondering. Okay, well, it's all automated. That's what I'm saying. So if he Amy, do you know what he would look up under? Is it HCMS?
I'm pretty
that
sure it
third
comes
email?
through as HCMS. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it
If
comes
he-
just as the other ones do.
exactly. So if he's completed HCMS, the first part, he should have got, because it's all automated. So
Because I don't know because I wasn't there, but I believe that he has, because he had started doing what we said not to do with the carriers of trying to apply through HCMS for those carriers, because he said it, and Amy can be a witness. She went in and she declined all of those HCMS appointment requests to those companies. So I know he got that far right there. So he did go into the process of it. Now,
but we're not sure
I
if he
can send a
completed it.
link. I mean, I can send a link. He may have overlooked it in his email. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine. If that happens, which it doesn't happen often. I mean, because usually once you complete onboarding, and you get that email, it'll have the link down. It's kind of not all out in bright shiny lights. You have to. I don't know why it's
Kind
not
of at the bottom of
huge
the email.
and
Yeah.
it's weird, but yeah. Just let me know, and I can always send a sure.
Amy, if you don't
could do
mind,
it, I would.
if you could just
I
send it.
He's just stuck at that point right there. He's done everything else. I just wanted to get him appointed with it. He's even got his prosperity appointment and everything, because we did that, all of those together. So
Who is this we're
Amy,
talking about?
Chester Fantroy,
Oh, okay.
the one I've been bugging you about the last couple of weeks. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much.
we're
I'm be quiet now.
sent out to him. If you guys, Greg, if you have any other issues, just reach out to me and we'll try to get through it. Because I know he's changed a bit to get started and probably should have been writing already. So
Yeah, let him know that I'm going to Slack it to him though, because that's where I do the majority of my communication is through Slack. So.
Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You guys have gotten infinitely better about communicating through Slack. I told some people, I was like, hey, I'm not going to communicate with you on regular text messages because text messages get lost. Slack is very good for that. And I've had some people that have keep texting me and I keep telling them I'm not going to answer you on here. So I'm sure I'm pissing them off, but that's okay. We communicate via Slack, period.
But one more thing about Slack though, real quick, before we move on from that, it does delete messages after a while. So if there's anything that you want, that you know you need to save it somewhere else. In Slack, I mean, everybody does, you have your own notes. That's where I keep like everything, passwords, I keep Todd's stuff there, Corey's stuff. I keep everything I want to know in my notes, because that so far that I've noticed has not disappeared. So, or save it on your desktop or save it in a file or something, because it does go away, unfortunately.
All right. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, guys. Great question, by the way. So as we get ready to wrap up, just want to go over a couple really quick things. So again, if someone is unlicensed, the process is very simple. It's just what we just talked about. You're going to send them the link, right? Or you're going to send them, you're going to get all their information. You're going to go to the Genesis website. You're going to do the onboarding form. And then if you are doing this yourself, and Amy sends this information out, Slack her, she's happy to send the email to you. The non-licensed email is going to have, it's a welcome email. It's going to have all the information they need. We just added the discount code. Todd has a discount code. Eric has a discount code. So two more things with that. When that welcome email goes out, guys, please have a conversation with them before. Don't just drop everything in Amy's lap. Have a conversation with them. Treat this like a business. Make sure that they understand exactly what's going to happen to them. Amy, and I'm not putting anybody on Front Street. I know you get a lot of phone calls and stuff like that. I know when we're talking, the people that I deal with most of the time, my direct agents, you don't have hardly any issues with them. Is that true, or is that a true statement?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's definitely getting better.
Right. And it's
with-
just an upfront conversation, right?
Yeah. Can you, hey, real quick though, I don't know if you're like moving your phone around, but we hear like a lot of, like your hand is on the speaker or something.
Oh, it might be. Thank you for letting me know.
There we
that.
go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
My hand was on the bottom of the phone. So sorry. So thanks for telling me that. So non-licensed people complete the Genesis form, send them the welcome email, which will have the discount code and everything else to it. And I know we talked about it and I keep saying it over and over and over again. Get them onto Slack. If you have questions, I think we put a video out there. If not, we'll get one out there on our Genesis YouTube page. You have to add them to Velocity first because that's the mothership. All you do is go on to Slack, scroll down to the bottom, add someone, send it to them. Guys, when I hire someone and they say yes, and that's one of the first things I do before we get off the phone is we get them added to Slack. I make sure they're on there and I welcome them. And then I even send them a personal message, go through a five-minute tutorial with them, how it works. Make sure you post your numbers when you start selling in Velocity first under Daily Booms, and then post them on ours. Because Velocity needs to make sure they understand it, or they know where the numbers are coming from as well. Then you go back in, you click on the Genesis link, and then you go through the same process of adding them. Once you've added them to Velocity, it's literally 2 clicks to add them to Genesis. Now, here's where this gets, I don't want to say strange, but I want to make sure you guys understand this, okay? If there's any discrepancy, now this is just what I've been told, if there's any discrepancy, and as the company continues to get bigger, you need to make sure you have your arms wrapped around this, because I actually had somebody call me from another organization yesterday asking me if I've ever run through this before. It is familyfirstlife.com. I'm going to click on menu, and then I'm going to go log in. Okay. This portion of the site is kind of slow. You're going to use the exact same login that you would use to log in to the CRM system. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you why I'm pulling all this up. I'm going to tell you why this is important. This is important because there is no other way for home office to know, really, there's no other way for home office to know that someone, whether you've recruited them or somebody else has recruited them. Now, the way some people do this, I don't think is right, just my personal opinion. This is what I mean. Someone will have a conversation with them, get their phone number, their first last name and their phone number and email, and they stick them in here, or they stick them in 8CMS so that they block everyone else from recruiting that person. That's not the right thing to do. But I will tell you this, if you shake hands with that person and you're ready to get that person, you're ready to rock and roll, and they've agreed whether they're licensed or not, get them in here as soon as possible, okay? If you don't, and somebody else recruits them, I'm telling you, there's nothing that we're going to be able to do. And from what I understand, home office is going to start cracking down on this more. And in my opinion, they should. If you're on somebody else's team, I know there's extenuating circumstances. Our organization will not go directly recruit anyone from anyone else. That's not just not what we're going to do. I know there's extenuating circumstances, but we're not going to purposely go do that like some people do. Okay. On this, you click on the star. This looks exactly the same on an Android, iPod, or iPad phone, whatever the case is. You're going to go add team account. And this is kind of slow when it goes through this. So if you're going through this and you're adding somebody, just understand that this is slow. I'm not going to fill this out, but I'm going to show you guys what happens here. This is very, very simple, very quick. It's going to ask first name, middle name, last name, email address. That's all you need to put in here. Please, please, please do not misspell their name. It's an act of Congress to get it changed. And whatever email address you put in here, even if they decide to use another email address, that's the one that they're going to be stuck using to log into the CRM. Once you put their legal government first name, middle name, last name, email address, you scroll down to the bottom and hit submit. It takes about 10, 15 seconds. You scroll back up to the top, you'll see a spinning deal going on up there. It'll show up at the bottom here and it'll say successfully submitted or something like that. If it comes back, I know I can't talk this morning, Amy, stop laughing at me. So if you see, if it comes up and it's red, that means that they've already been entered into the system. Then that's where the trouble comes. Don't just switch email and do all that other stuff, because just because you change an email doesn't change the person. All right. Does anybody have any questions about that? I know that can get a little confusing.
Corey, I do. So once you put them in here, are they going to get an email inviting them to create their own
Yep.
password and then have access to
Yes,
my
sir.
leads and everything?
Yes. So here's the deal. What that does is this gives them access. Not only does it give them access to CRM, but it also lets home office know that John Doe has been put into the system. Like, guys, I'm telling you, this is job one. Only once you say that person agrees to come on, you guys shake hands or elbow bump or whatever you're going to do, because we'll do things the right way here, right? What happens is, guys, even though we call it a CRM system, what email they get will either come to their email or spam. If they go to their email and type in CMS, so cat, mouse, snake, they type CMS, it'll come up. Then, just like you guys did to get access to the CRM, they're going to create username, which will be their email, and then a password that takes them in and gives them access to the CRM. So if you guys don't want to train them on the CRM, which we should, because home office gets a ton of email every day about people going, I don't know how to get into the CRM, which is ridiculous. If you don't want to train them on it, again, either have them come to the meeting on Sundays or send them out to our YouTube page. There's a training out there for it. It's very simple. It's only a couple minutes. Now, here's kind of a little pro tip, if you will. Hopefully you guys can still see my screen. You guys see at the bottom of there, that legend where it says pending invite?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to click on pending invite. And now you can see all these people in here. Okay. Two things. Let's just say that Miss Armour, which is one of Jeremiah's recruits, says, I didn't get the code. You can only access this, guys, if you put the information in the system. If we do it for you, which we do 98% of the time, we can then come back out here. Two things. I'm going to click on resend. Okay. You can see I hit resend. It's automatically going to send all the information back out to her. Here's the deal, though. Here's why you don't want to do that. What you want to do is go copy. Because if you resend that to her, I don't know why this is being weird, but you can see the link there. I would copy that link, send it to her in a separate email, and then save that in like the notes for just like a few days until she says she actually gets in. Here's why. If you hit resend and it sends it out to her, it's then going to disappear here and you can't get it back. And if you go in and try to recreate it again and put her name, first, middle, last name, and email address, it's going to tell you she's automatically in the system. Now, I know home office is getting your butt kicked because we're hiring 1,000 people a week or whatever it is now. I wouldn't put the future of me trying to get my agents started in the hands of home office because they're so busy. So I'm going to say that again. If they don't get the CMS email, if you guys can see on the right-hand side of the screen, it says you are now authorized and it says CMS system. That's what I was talking about. That's how it comes through, CMS. Copy this link, send it to them, save it. Because if you go resend that to them, it's going to disappear on here. Is that clear to everybody?
Yeah, Corey, this is Christy.
Yep.
So what I was confused about when we went through this last week, it's because I saw all your people here, and then I went into my account, and that's why I was saying, oh, I don't see Brian.
Yep.
And I saw the other girl, and I was thinking, okay, is he not considered my recruit? That's what I was confused about. So that's why I asked.
Right. And again, this is going to help you guys protect your recruit, right? Because they might not be licensed yet, right? And if somebody else tries to recruit them and goes and sticks them in the system, you don't have a leg to stand on. So that's why when you're getting your recruit, don't lollygag with it, because the company is recruiting so many people so quickly because you don't use HCMS until they're actually licensed. So this is the only way of you, I don't want to say blocking, but staking claim to that particular agent, because they're not property, they're people, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Make sure when we get that form in, typically I go ahead and enter them in for you guys, because I know most of us are busy. And if you forget, I'm just telling you guys, if you forget and somebody else gets them, we don't have a leg to stand on. And I'm not going to fight that fight because we're going to lose it straight up. Anybody have any questions? Yep.
So so not only do we need to do the onboarding form, send them the welcome, that kind of thing for the unlicensed, but we also need to go on to familyfirstlife.com and go in there and enter the information in as well.
Yep.
Because that's something that I didn't do, so I need to do that. Okay,
well,
gotcha.
Anybody that you've recruited so far, don't worry about it. We've been doing it for you guys. But again, you guys all run your own businesses. And I think if we're doing it for some and not for others, it just doesn't make any sense. We don't want the ball to get dropped. And it's something that literally it takes 2 seconds. Like literally it takes 2 seconds to do that. So
Corey, I have a few questions.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So if we go into the FFL CRM to enter a new person and you've already put them in there, will we know that right away?
It's going to kick back to you and say error. Yep.
And the next question, looking down the road, will they eventually merge everything into HCMS, including the leads and this step here? Because I honestly don't use the FFL CRM for anything other than the leads myself.
Well, the CRM really is just for leads. That other portion is just to make sure that person's in the system to be able to get access to CRM. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just curious if they would ever just have everybody on one system, which would be HCMS, and do the same thing in the future. Has that been discussed?
I know, hopefully Eric's still on here. Maybe he can, if I give the wrong answer or not a correct answer, he can fix that. But I don't see any reason why HCMS and CMS would ever merge together. They're two completely different systems that do two completely different things.
Okay.
Hey, it's Batman.
Yeah, man. My daughter got me that.
That's my favorite t-shirt.
He's my favorite superhero. So no, Mark, they're not looking at doing that, brother. So the CRM and I, I'm not a fan of the CRM personally. Like, that's off the record. I hope this is not being recorded, but it's a great, but it's, that's what we use it for, to deliver leads, and so that's all. And Corey's giving you some really good precautions to act on. So, I would follow his advice. It's good stuff, Corey.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hey, Corey, there
Yes, ma'am.
was also, I think yesterday, it was posted on Slack. It was that Family First Life, the fresh desk. I was going to say, because it actually walks through what you just said, how to put them in the CRM as well. So that's actually has a bunch of different great links.
Awesome. So they just rolled this out. Thank you, Christy. And thanks, Eric. I might be a little bit off here. I think if you're a sales manager above, they just rolled it out on LinkedIn. I saw it just by accident. Good thing I'm a social media freak. But one of the things that they're doing, if you're a sales manager above, you're going to be able to get a free link that you can actually track your agents. And let me tell you why this is a very, very good tool. I've been able to use this in the past where you can actually go through and see how far your agent's going through the process. So again, sales manager above, I think it's starting June 30th. I'm going to send the email after our meet when I get back to the airport later tonight, send an email so that we can get access to that. And then I'm also going to help all of our guys, Tim, and I'm sure Mark's going to be coming up, and Kevin Gilbert should be right behind them so that they have access. So you can check all of your own stuff. Again, run your business like a business. So that'll be very good. Very, very good. And it doesn't cost you anything either. So that's kind of the reason why I'm kind of handing the CRM or CMS stuff back to you guys now, so you can kind of get used to kind of creating your own process. So as a recap here, don't forget, you can go onto YouTube, our YouTube page, any of the videos in there, just type win and then subscribe to the page. We're trying to get over 100 as quickly as we possibly can. You guys do that. We're going to do a random draw on the 25th on our Facebook, podcast page, excuse me. And then just draw a name for $50 gift card to Amazon. So keep in mind, again, when you get someone started Genesis, you're going to do the onboarding form. After you do the onboarding form, you're going to, obviously that stuff's going to come to us. We will then send it back out to you, so you have it for your records, or you can use the Join FFL Genesis site as well. Remember, if they put your name and stuff in there, we will then send that information out to you and Slack you, letting you know that you've got a candidate. So you can use that at your will. Make sure you get them sent into the CMS or the FFL.com website to get them in there, and then send out the welcome email. Make sure they have expectations of what they're going to get. The discount code is in there, what frees it out. If you're doing anything in Illinois, guys, it's typically, I think, $99. It's not free like it is every place else, just so you know, those of us that live on the border. Make sure you stay in contact with that agent every 24 to 48 hours. I'm telling you, if you sleep on this, they're going to be gone. And if you guys don't remember anything else I say today, give them that 2-week upfront contract when you start. Because if they're not here in 2 weeks, guys, I'm telling you, every day outside that 2 weeks, it goes down probably by 50%. They just won't show up because they won't do what it takes. And it sucks. I recommend that you tell them just to get the life. You can do whatever you want. The life and health can be definitely more daunting, and it's going to take more time to go through all that, but they can get to the life stuff in about 3 days and get the test set up. kind of another quick pro tip. After they've been studying for a couple days, I usually reach out to them. I got somebody to call today and say, hey, you got to get that exam scheduled, because that gives them an end date and it pushes them to get that thing done. And then just the other process that we just talked about, that Amy was so nice to put together and type out. If you guys want that, just Slack Amy and I will get it sent out to you instead of blasting it all over the place, all over our Slack line. And then the same stuff that we just went through. Once they get licensed, go through HCMS. You go on and invite them through HCMS. Once they get it, they'll get the first HCMS, they'll get the second one thanking them, and the third one sending them to Assurance Bay. And they're going to only get them set up with the big four. And if you tell them this, then you won't have people, Amy, having to go in and decline all these carriers that they're applying for. America.
I've already done that
AIG,
twice already today, FYI,
Yeah,
for 2 different
that's
people.
exactly, because we're not having the conversations. That's why it's happening. And some people don't listen. Americo, AIG, John Hancock move, you send them Prosperity, that gives them 5 carriers. If they do everything right, Prosperity, they'll have their agent code within about 24 to 48 hours. Remember, they have to do AML for them. They have to do AML for Americo, and they have to do it for Mutual of Omaha. If you tell them that, there's no surprises, and then Amy's not getting slacked or emailed or called. Same thing with me, because I have people that reach out to me as well, which is okay. But if we have those conversations up front, 5 carriers is plenty enough for these guys to get started. After they feel about it, 10, 15,000, then you can start adding the other ones. And they only know we have all these carriers, guys, because we tell them. And then the last thing, again, HCMS, they'll go back to HCMS with Assurance Bay, and then that's where the other carriers are. Won't go back over all of those. The last thing that I'll mention, because I don't think a whole lot of people know this for whatever reason, AMAM and Occidental Life is the same company. I don't know why they do it that way. You go into the same site and all this other stuff, but AMM and Occidental are 2 different companies. Just depends on where you're at in the country. I'm not going to go into mad detail about that, but at the same time, if you have somebody or you're licensed or contracted, I should say, with AMM, this depends on, I think it's 4 or 5 states. I don't know if you know what they are top of your head, Amy. I know Michigan is one. I think Wisconsin might be one. Whatever the case is, you'll have to have Occidental as well.
You want me to tell you? I have it right here.
Yes, I figured you did.
Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Vermont.
I was wrong. I thought there were 4. So if you have agents in those states, and you have agents in those states, whether you're collecting an override or not, make sure that they have Occidental as well. I know that throws a monkey wrench into things, so we don't want you guys having people in those areas and think you're getting override and you're not. So the last thing that I'll mention too, and I keep saying that, and I promise this is it. And this is important because it's for your pay. If your people aren't putting their stuff into HCMS, you're not going to get paid. And I'm telling you straight up, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to have Amy go back and look up back pay. First of all, it's not the right thing to do. We should take care of that in the beginning. If you don't have your people put their stuff in HCMS and their license and all that, they're going to get paid, but you're not, because there's no real true connection between you and them. Okay. Something else I was going to add to that escaped me right now, which is okay. We'll talk about it next week or when it comes back. So I know that was
actually
we're about 45 minutes in, but go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, let me chime in on this real quick. A lot of people don't understand. I know there's only a handful of people on here probably preaching to the choir, but we need to do a better job of helping people understand this. So you as an agent, HCMS manages your relationship to FFL, and Insurance Bay manages your relationship to the carriers, right? And so because we get paid from the carriers, a lot of people, I mean, everybody's particular about getting sure LC correct, but then they forget to go back and update HCMS and make sure that their profile is tight with their agent numbers. And guys, the thing is that if you as an agent are responsible to go back into your HCMS when you get your carrier numbers, you probably have a spreadsheet where you manage your carrier number and your logins, right? So pull up that spreadsheet, go to your HCMS and check your profile and see, are all of your agent numbers on your profile? Agent numbers that you got through FFL need to be on your profile. And here's the deal. If they're not, when you recruit an agent and that agent, goes through SureLC and submits, let's say, contracting with Foresters, and let's say you're appointed with Foresters, but you didn't update your SureLC and your HCMS, and your Foresters number isn't on there, then corporate doesn't have your hierarchy and it bounces back. It either delays your new person getting appointed or they just bypass you. So if you like money and you like getting paid, update your HCMS. Like, I mean, you should literally like, I mean, just everybody should check it today. And just make sure, like, look and see. I mean, there was stuff wrong with mine a week ago when I checked mine. And I mean, you know, I'd like to think I'm pretty on top of things. So just like, look and see. No, nothing's perfect. These are all systems run by human beings, and human beings make mistakes. Just make sure you're not one of those human beings making mistakes. That's it.
Yep. And then just so you guys know, thanks here. We get an issue pay report, which comes out today. And it's really cool because I've had 2 agents, one today actually, ask me about the issue pay. That goes out when you start having people on your team, you'll get a copy of the issue pay. We'll start emailing it to you. Make sure your number is attached to your agent. We see it every single week. I don't scout it anymore. I send the report out. If you as a leadership person don't take the time to go through that and you want to miss your compensation, that's up to you. Manage your business. I'm not going to manage it for you. We see it every week where there's people on there that aren't attached. Your code's not by them. So when we send that out, take a look at it. Once you have people on your team, take a look at it. Make sure that their code is next to yours. We'll do that on our next, maybe we'll go through that quickly next week. So I know we're really far in to almost an hour into a 30-minute meeting. So hopefully this was informative. Eric, thanks for jumping on. Todd, if you're still on, appreciate it. Guys, I love putting this on every week because it just shows we're growing. You know, minus leadership, we have another 6 or 7 people on here. So that means you guys are curious about growing your business, which is awesome. If you guys need us, know that we're here, but make sure you're having the upfront contracts with your agents because we're here to help you guys. But, you know, we're not going to start getting in your way of hindering you guys from growing your business. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it. Amy, thanks for it again. Thanks for all you do. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Claire.
Bye, guys.